Ever heard of a killer? I drop bombs like Hiroshima.
Somebody said, look at LeakYou video. What the fuck is LeakYou? Is it like a site? What's LeakYou? LeakYou. Is it a YouTube channel? Oh, shit. Oh, all right, bet. Here we go.
Body, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, coming through for your daily, UFO video, as we may say. To all of you out there on Facebook, shout out to you. Feel free to drop me a star. All right, that's how I was just recently monetized on Facebook. You can definitely support me that way. And make sure you check out my Anchor platform, anchor.fm/LeakYou, where you can find links over to my Spotify, Amazon, Apple, or Google podcast. Again, I appreciate all your support, and we're going to get right on into it. I do want to recognize the chat. We've got the one and only Duchess Kelly Love in the building. Shout out to you. Good to see you. What's up, Lavina and Gino? Good evening to you all. It's good to see everybody here. It's also really nice to see how many people have been really checking me out on Twitter. I appreciate all the support I'm getting. Just a hint to those of you, Gloria, if you hear this on the replay, I think we may need to talk about some moderating on Twitter. It's gotten that big. I want to jump right on into this, you all. I have a couple of things I want to discuss tonight. I do want to talk about some UFO sightings that have been taking place in Israel and Gaza, as well as a viral video that has come out in New York, where a man or woman got a piece of film that seems to show a bright object. It got within like 6 feet of him. It's very fascinating. So I'm going to share that with you. But before we get into all that, we need to talk about old Scott Peterson. Do you remember Scott Peterson? Scott Peterson is the man. Okay. He is the man. He is a convicted man, a convicted murderer, convicted of first-degree murder in the very infamous case essentially killing his wife, murdering his wife, Lacey Peterson. He was actually convicted back in 2004 of first-degree murder of Lacey Peterson in the murder of their unborn child. Her body was found on the shoreline of a park in the San Francisco Bay back in April of 2003. Lacey was only 27 years old and was 8 months pregnant at the time of her death. Scott Peterson had a mistress and everything. And amazingly, he was convicted on more evidence than I've seen some people go to prison on. I've seen a lot of people go to prison on just a word of mouth. And believe it or not, and I shake my head. I'm going to let you know now. Believe it or not, the Innocence Project. I feel like the Innocence Project is taking a little bit of a hit with this one. The Innocence Project has decided and made a decision that this nonprofit organization is going to go ahead and involve itself and offer and provide pro bono legal analysis and services to Scott, his case. This organization has built up a name over the years of hoping innocent people get out of prison, or people that have been, had unjust or improper convictions. Scott Peterson, who is now 51 years old, 51. I'm wondering, I'm going to tell you, be honest. Did he get hooked up with some lady lawyer behind one of those firms? Although There was no direct evidence tying Peterson to the crime. Prosecutors built an incredible case on perceived motive, circumstantial evidence, including the fact that he was having an affair with a woman who later testified at this trial that was televised. All right. Fox News, the station Fox News, cable news, made a really big run on the murder coverage of Scott Peterson and Lacey Peterson's case. He was sentenced to death, and he already got lucky back in 2020 when his sentence was overturned. His conviction remained in place, but he was subsequently resentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. So he moves all the way from a death sentence to now a life sentence. He won't be executed, but now he wants to go free. He's maintained his innocence throughout his sentence and often claimed to be the victim of unfair treatment during his trial, which made international headlines. It was the source of widespread media attention. The Innocence Project, one of the most well-known and high-profile justice reform organizations, submitted a slew of documents. All right. And among them are claims of newly discovered evidence, including new potential suspects that they say will prove Peterson did not kill his wife and unborn child. His attorneys are also requesting dozens of items of evidence that they say never been seen or they're unable to locate, some of which are said to be connected to a burglary in Stanislaus County near the Petersons' home, as well as evidence recovered from a van fire back in 2002. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Is it possible that Scott Peterson is innocent? Is that possible? I guess in our times and in days of social media, honestly, who's to say? But we will be keeping an eye on it. Now, I want to jump into something really quick. Let me find it here. There is a video. Yes, I've got it. I want to show you all this. There was a very interesting sighting in New York City. This is a video clip that I'm about to present to you all. There was a very interesting sighting. Let me pull it up. We're on Twitter here, guys. Just check this out. Oh, yes, DKL. Yes. Yes. Shout out to Duchess Kelly Love. Watch how this object is going to literally get within 6 feet of whoever's filming it. It is amazing. Just watch. Man, hold on. A drone, sunny days? What do you all think? I mean, that light though, just watch how it comes down. Look how high it is, right? In the sky. Now, what I can't tell if it's that is the moon, but a drone, look how it's gliding like that. Can a drone really move that? I mean, I know a drone can be pretty graceful, but it's so bright. It's almost as bright as the sun. Now, what I can't tell if that is a full moon there in the sky or if that is another UFO, that this one, they are known to split and become two objects. You'll have a UFO that'll literally split. They join back up. It's just matter, literally. Protons and neurons, or et cetera, mass, atoms, all that kind of fun stuff. But that is so bright. And the way that it's moving, I'm just ready and waiting to see if I'm going to see an alien standing off in the side in the dark somewhere. I was hoping we would catch an abduction on camera. But this is pretty good. This is pretty good. This happened again in New York, and this video has went viral. We all want to get this close to these incredible objects that we see in the sky. There's many people that would love to be this close. The fact that we're seeing these objects just come down from the sky and investigate someone on the street versus it's like, okay, we're no longer policing the skies. We're now nosy enough that we're going to come down from the sky and we're going to start looking at you human beings, that's in the jungles of Peru and on the streets of New York and at the malls of Miami, Florida, because we are not alone, Gino the Great. We are not alone. But you think he let it get too close? Now, I did actually, it's interesting you mentioned that because a lot of people are like, wait a second, is this CGI? Is this fake? 100%. If we didn't film it, there's always going to be that little small chance, right? But my gut tells me that this does not look to be modified or like CGI. It's not graceful enough. But again, there's a lot of experts out there who will have a lot of opinions. And look, it gets brighter. It gets even brighter. It's like, I want to know too. This UFO object is just as nosy as the human being sitting there filming it. So DKL says, not me. I don't want to get close to that. Keep it away from me. Some feel that there are negative energies that are behind a lot of these sightings. I've been keeping a constant check on one of my search strings regarding Peru and the Pelicaras and any more sightings that may happen or has happened last night, the night before, because there's been villages in Peru getting visited every night for months. And there's been some incredible video footage that has come out from those experiences and situations. But there's also been witnesses, victims who have come forward and did very extensive interviews on their experience. One lady, they were trying to peel her face off. They was trying to peel her face off, and she felt like one of them talked with an accent, and one of them, had to have been from a different part of the world. The question is, has civilian population come into contact with any sort of technology that would allow them to cloak themselves, make yourself your whole, the mass of your body be invisible, so to speak, right? Is it possible? Maybe. Maybe there's talk that another government may come out and disclose the knowledge that they have on this topic and beat the punch to the United States if the United States ever decides to actually disclose on this topic. Don't you all find it interesting, though, that there's such a large amount of UFO sightings in countries like Peru and Brazil, in South America? And, a lot of people have actually looked at that connection. And some think that the attachment to the occult, the different religions that I guess are in these various areas where they see the most sightings has a lot to do with that. So I don't know. But there's something else. So last night we was talking, right, about an increase in UFO activity in Israel, in Gaza, ever since this situation happened. The recent missile launches, all of that has been going on because of the attack that happened by Hamas that upended whatever version of peace that was in place at the time. And these rockets that have been going back and forth into, and killing so many innocent people, there seems to have been an increase in UFO sightings happening in Israel. So we've also talked here on the channel about an increase in UFO sightings that have been happening and occurring in Ukraine. It seems like, and I'm talking daily, people. We've got people that have been monitoring the skies in Ukraine, and on a daily basis, when that war started, when it really kicked up, they have UFOs, sometimes multiple UFOs, visiting them on a daily basis. And they have a habit of cloaking themselves. And I've heard that that's been the case in all of the wars that we've even had in modern times. I heard a lot of stories about Vietnam and various creatures that were seen by soldiers that was fighting in Vietnam, including reptilian creatures and other strange lights. In World War II, we had lots of sightings of what they labeled Foo Fighters. Hold on, y'all. Biscuit said, not today. All right. So another amazing story coming out of Israel, too, on top of the fact that we've got all these UFO sightings. There's been people saying that they've been seeing angels in Israel. There was a couple of people that interviewed, and if I can find the clip, we'll get to it before I end this live, but crying, like their bodies were retching. And some of these people, one was a little boy, had a whole conversation, he claims, with an angel. Now, and then there was also a soldier that became very vexed about the fact that they're sitting. He said, "Listen, we're fighting ghosts," as if to implicate that maybe something is being seen by these people that is of a paranormal, that has a paranormal element to it. But check this out, you all. This is just this showed up on CNN. All right, this showed up on CNN.
Watch that.
What he didn't say, than what he did say. What he didn't say was restraint. Again,
we're gonna hear a little kid stomping in the back, y'all. What is this? You all look. Look at this.
How did
There's been so many sightings, UFO sightings happening in Israel every single day. Every day. There's something to be said about some sighting happening over there. I know the angels is a bit of a shock, isn't it? When you think about that, somebody having a conversation with the angel over there. Can you imagine? Holy War. South Americans got roots in ancient travelers. Man, what an interesting way to put it. What an interesting way to put it. So true. You know, there's even a population of Mayans that just completely, it's history or rumor or one of the old ancient stories is there was a whole Mayan civilization that just disappeared one day. I want to see if I can find this. There's a particular clip I was looking at. This soldier. Let me see if I can find it. Y'all give me a sec. I may not. We may actually have a reason to come back with a whole. I think actually that would be a better idea to actually come back and do a show actually on this whole, these clips of these people going into detail about interviewing about their conversation that they had with angels that just walked up to them on the streets of Gaza. This has been people that have lost, aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, sisters. It's been so many people that have been getting killed over there. So I think that would be actually the best way to do it. Anyway, I appreciate you all for coming through. I will just make sure you turn on notifications. All right. That's all I'll say. Turn on notifications and I'll be back when I'm back on the whole Israel angel conversations and interviews. I'll definitely be back to do a show on that. But listen, before we get up out of here, let me pay a few bills, please. Shout out to the LeakYou community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks to everybody for coming through. You all have a great rest of your day. Until next time.
It looks like you lost another one.
The judgment sentence that you are an asshole. The trial is over. Thank you, everybody.
Let's play a game. You have 10 seconds to take all your stuff and get out of my life. 10, 9, 8.
God bless you, motherfucker.
You're really smart. Like really, really, really smart.